Hello world, it's Zilla. It's Mr. Bring You the Scripture so you can see the bigger picture. Alright, we're going to jump back into the book of Acts, chapter 25, starting right at the top. Paul appeals to Caesar. Now, when Festus had come to the province, after 3 days he went up from Caesarea to Jerusalem. Then the high priest and the chief men of the Jews informed him against Paul, and they petitioned him, asking a favor against him, that he would summon him to Jerusalem, while they lay in ambush along the road to kill him. But Festus answered him that Paul should be kept at Caesarea, and that he himself was going there shortly. Therefore he said, "Let those who have authority among you go down with me and accuse this man, to see if there is any fault in him." And when he had remained among them more than 10 days, he went down to Caesarea, and the next day, sitting on the judgment seat, he commanded Paul to be brought. When he had come, the Jews who had come down from Jerusalem stood about and laid many serious complaints against Paul, which they could not prove, while he answered for himself, "Neither against the law of the Jews, nor against the temple, nor against Caesar have I offended in anything at all." But Festus, wanting to do the Jews a favor, answered Paul and said, "Are you willing to go up to Jerusalem and there be judged before me concerning these things?" So Paul said, "I stand at Caesar's judgment seat, where I ought to be judged. To the Jews I have done no wrong, as you very well know. For if I am an offender, or have committed anything deserving of death, I do not object to dying. But if there is nothing in these things of which these men accuse me, no one can deliver me to them. I appeal to Caesar." Then Festus, when he had conferred with the council, answered, "You have appealed to Caesar you shall go." Let's read what the Bible ties to what we just read. Appeal to Caesar. Paul exercised his prerogative as a Roman citizen and appealed to Caesar for the final decision. A Roman citizen, unless he was guilty of murder, could always make this appeal to Caesar if he was getting an unjust decision from the court. Caesar reserved the right for the final disposition. Paul was getting the runaround. Paul was innocent and had declared to Felix, "You know the charges are not true." Now it's interesting to me that Paul said, "Look, if I have done something that deserves death, the death penalty, I'll die. But I'm not going to let you deliver me to them." We are not to put ourselves deliberately into a position of jeopardy. There are some people who intentionally court disaster. It's not wise. There's another piece that ties into what we just read. Bound for Rome. It's interesting how so often the Lord reveals an overall plan, but yet many times there is an interval of time before God works out that plan. Sometimes in that interval of time, we get a little impatient and take things into our own hands. Doesn't God want me to go to Rome? Well, let me figure out a way there, because the Lord told me I had to bear witness in Rome. But the Lord has his ways of fulfilling his purposes in our lives, and we've got to watch our impatience, because so often we get ahead of God. When Jesus said, you are going to bear witness of me in Rome," you can be sure Paul was going to get to Rome. Now, Paul probably wasn't planning to get there the way he did. He was probably planning on paying his own transportation instead. He got to Rome courtesy of Roman government. You gotta love it when the Bible bangs are out like that, right, guys? If this blesses you in any way, press the buttons. And if you want the rest of the chapter, just hop into profile after. We're gonna be back next time, right on time, to renew our minds on time. Love you guys.